DPP Rally Talk Show with Claudia on the Call 360 Network. And here's your host, Claudia Merandi.
Where are you? I can't see you. Hi, Jonelle.
Hello. How are you doing?
We're like BFFs, but on a little screen in a big world. Jonelle Elgaway is the founder of Conspiracies Against Wellness, and I stream off of Call 360. So if you're a doctor and you want to stream off of a great network, Jonelle Elgaway is your lady. So I wanted Jonelle to co-host with me tonight. We were busting each other's
YouTube
chops, and I was like, yeah, it's like Beauty and the Beast. Obviously, Jonelle is the beauty, and of course, I'm the beast. Really quickly, I like to acknowledge the two A's of the day. So we have the advocate of the day, and that's going to go to, obviously, trying to get this camera situated. That's going to the lady that's going to be coming in. We have the asshole of the day. Who's the asshole of the day, Jonelle? Who do you think? There's a lot of them, because there's a group of assholes that dedicated their time. They went on social media and they did this, and they campaigned to shut down the GoFundMe, which airs that commercial all across the country, because we don't accept donations. We just have a GoFundMe so people can see the commercial. And when people see don'tpunishpainrally.com, they go to the website and it says, if you saw the commercial, what can you do? And we give them a list of things to do. So, but there were, I don't know, maybe 30 of these assholes, and they actually campaigned and they hounded GoFundMe, and GoFundMe shut it down for about a day. But GoFundMe was kind enough, because we keep flawless receipts. Carolyn Quintera is a retired professional. And listen, if my name is attached to anything, it's going to be spot on 100%. So I would like to give a big shout out to the assholes of the day. Once again, you try to be successful in something, you're clearly successful in nothing, but to deprive pain patients of actually getting a chance to get the word spread out in the pain community in their state, which, by the way, the commercial will air in Oregon this week. So those are my assholes of the day. Jonelle, do you have any assholes of the day? Probably not, because you're the good doobie of the bunch today. So I wanted to. Sometimes you have to acknowledge the assholes of the day. What's tonight's show about? It's all about the protest. So if you are trying to get this camera adjusted and it's just not, I don't know if it's on my end.
Yeah, just move it to the left a little bit.
I did.
Nope,
But
move it more. Half your
see,
face is
now
in the photo.
and now you could just see the saggy part of my face.
Nope. Okay.
Oh,
Other way. Go the other way. There you go.
yeah,
Oh, there
I
you
am.
go.
I think it's on your end.
Nope.
Look,
Okay.
this, look, and now I'm this way. Okay, I can
April's
stay like
calling in,
this
by the
the whole
way.
way. Huh?
April's calling in.
All right, let's take April's
Okay.
call.
Your face, by the way, is in camera. It's just you're moving it. You have to move it the other direction. Okay, I'm pulling in April now.
Hi, April.
Hang on 1 second. Okay, there you go.
Hi, April.
Hi, how are you?
Thank you so much for calling in. I'm sorry that people can only see the saggy side of my face, but that's how it goes. So, April, you're a warrior. You're the advocate of the day, obviously. Tell us what happened when you went to Rite Aid. Tell the people what's been going on in your life and what happened, because your video went viral.
Yes. I have stage 4 metastatic breast cancer, and I've been living with it for about 5 years now. And all of this time, and even prior to that, I get all of my prescriptions at my neighborhood Rite Aid store, which is just around the corner from my house. And every time I get a pain pill prescription, they give me a paper slip, and I have to take it into the pharmacy to get it filled, because that's in California, that's the way that we have to do it. Or at least in my area, I've heard some differing things. But my neighborhood Rite Aid, where I get all of my other prescriptions, they've been giving me the runaround for years every time I take a pain pill script to them. And it's been about 2 years now where they just are constantly making excuses. It's either they don't have it in stock, they can't fill it today. There's just a number of different excuses I've heard over the years, but ultimately it's just that they don't want to fill it.
And April, you are getting voluminous amounts of pain medications here. You're getting Norco, right? I mean, you're getting a small, like 60 or 90 pills a month.
Small, correct. It's usually, I usually have one script that's written for 60 to 90 pills to last a month. But I don't take it every day, so I only take it when I absolutely need it. So usually one prescription lasts me a couple of months. So it's not something that that I'm taking. It wasn't like a prescription that I took in too early, or it wasn't something that that I shouldn't have been getting at the time that I requested it. And so in the past, I've actually gone to a neighboring CVS to have this filled, because basically my Rite Aid pharmacy just would not fill it every time. So This last week, when I went in to pick up some different medications that were already there waiting for me, I asked if they would go. I had the paper script, so I asked if they would go ahead and fill it while I was there. And basically, I just got berated by the pharmacist. I mean, it was just humiliating. He came up to me with a paper printout of my prescription history, and he had it circled where it was noted that I had the other ones filled at CVS. And basically he said that was a red flag. And I told him, at the time, I said, you guys won't fill this for me. I have no other choice but to go somewhere else. And from there, it just got really bad. And so I cried and made a video about it. And now I find out that this happens all over the country. And hundreds of thousands of people have seen it, and it's just been unreal that something like this happens so commonly, But
and you're beautiful.
It took the social media to get a response.
Sure. And you got one hell of a response. Didn't the VP of Rite Aid? I think Rite Aid's all Walgreens now, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing at Walgreens. But right now, it still says Rite Aid on the building. So, but the regional vice president did reach out to me later that day, and this is after I had posted the video, after I had tagged them on Twitter, and after I had also filed a complaint online with their corporate office, like an ethics complaint that this had happened, because basically there's just no reason whatsoever that someone should be spoken to like that, especially someone with a valid prescription, from a doctor. All of my medications come from the same doctor. Really all of my medications go through that Rite Aid with the exception of this one. And every time I attempt to have it filled there, it's embarrassing.
Yeah. So
it's
April,
they make you feel like you're a criminal.
You know the question that people kept asking me after you came on, you were gracious enough to join us for a live feed. A lady, she contacted me and she said, is an apology enough? And I said, April, you're terminal. So, somebody said, does she want a lawyer? And I said, yeah, I don't know if she wants a lawyer because you probably do have a pretty good case. And I'm sure Rite Aid would settle rather quickly, especially going into the Walgreens arena. But, that's your call. What are your thoughts on that? Can't thank you enough for calling in. We protest on May 22nd. Maybe you want to reach
Ryan?
out. If you need help reaching out to a representative, you let me know, girl, and I'll help you do anything I can. But thank you so much for calling in and sharing your story, April, and I'll talk with you soon.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you so much.
God bless, April.
Hey, Claudia, we're going to hang on here
Yeah.
because there's still no sound. YouTube people are saying, oh, okay. Now they're saying it's okay. All right, thank you.
It's okay.
Okay.
So tonight's show is April is the advocate of the day. Jonelle, how amazing is April? I mean, she's a beautiful soul inside and out. She's got a well-respected job out of, confidentiality. I'm not allowed to say what she does for a living, but she's battling terminal metastatic breast cancer, and the lesions that radiate into her hips cause her immense pain. And I need to take back something. We don't have one asshole of the day. We have two assholes of the day. And the second asshole would be that Rite Aid pharmacist. That did not fill that script. That poor bastard, he's probably, oh my God, why didn't I fill the script? I understand why they didn't fill the script. I get it. I get why people are fearful to fill the script. So let's refocus back on what tonight's show is about. Are you ready to protest? Do you have your venue? Do you have signs for your protest? Do you have your press release to send out to the media for your protest? So these are all things that we want to discuss tonight. I don't think we have any callers in queue. Jonelle, I lost you again. Did you fall off the stool again?
Nope, I'm right here.
I keep losing you on audio. So Jonelle, what are you going to do for the North Carolina protest?
Well, Bev and I are the state organizers, and we have been going to find the sites of where we're going to be having it first. Last time we had it at our capital in Raleigh and state capital, and the parking was a little bit far. Bathrooms, I don't even know where they would be. So we're going to try and check out either the governor's mansion or across from it, I believe, is the congressional building. There's a lot of traffic that goes by there. Great area to set up tables. A lot of people will be able to see what we're doing with our signs. Also, if people, we're starting to send you have a flyer, I'm sorry, your commercial and
Yep.
What else do we have to send out if we want to try to get media?
You want to send that press release out to all your media, but when I send out an email with the press release, I also put a blurb in, due to the CDC clarifications, or what's transpired with the CDC guidelines. This is another reason we need media coverage to protest. And I don't think people are going to have a difficult time getting media to this protest. We're on the media's radar right now. So it's the only people that I can't get to cover my protests, believe it or not, is my local newspaper. I think they've grown to dislike me. Let's take the first caller with area code 684. Hi there. Caller, area code 684.
Hello, this is Sherry.
Sherry. Hi, Sherry.
Hi. I was just wanting to get some ideas on how to get more people involved at the rallies. I feel
Wait, is this
maybe there's...
Sherry?
Yes.
How can you get more
Can you hear
people
me?
involved? I can hear you just fine. So, Sherry, you're Sherry Quintero?
Yes.
Hey,
Okay,
Sherry, could
so-
you please shut your volume off behind you? You could hear it through the... Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that better?
So,
Yeah.
So I think, Sherry, how many members are on the Texas Don't Punish Pain rally page?
Over 555.
Can you imagine that? We have over 500 people on one state group, and we have huge difficulty getting people turned out. So, Sherry, where are you protesting? What part of Texas?
We're going to Austin at the Capitol.
Okay. How many people? So the first protest I just remembered a funny story you shared with me about the shoes and the money. How many people showed up at the last protest?
There was 30.
Wow.
There was
I
30.
remember.
We had 30. Yeah.
How many were at the first protest?
25.
Okay. So, Sherry, that's actually a pretty good number for a protest because we don't have national media. So we don't have a commercial running all day, all night. If you want to protest, go to Austin. If you want to protest. So we're doing the best that we can. Listen, I had about 30, 40 people. That's a pretty good number. I think, another way we can try to get more people is with a Facebook boost.
Okay.
That's how I treated. That was your idea, by the way, Sherry. So, no, Sherry, you are one of our best state organizers, and you're a senior team member. So can I please thank you now for everything you've done?
Oh, well, thank you, Claudia.
And can I also thank your mom because Yeah, you've been with us, and you're a solid. So we're going to get people to Texas. Sherry, I love you. I'll talk with you soon. And we're going to do a Facebook boost, and we're going to get more people. That's a good
Okay.
way to get more people. I think we've got a caller with area code
Nope.
682.
Nope, that was who we just had on.
Oh, that was who we had on.
Yep.
So Sherry works endless hours, Jonelle, and she monitors along with Kaylee and Jonna. She monitors all the state pages, and she actually gets the lion's share of the complaints from people who don't like me. I know that's hard to believe that people don't like me. And she and Kaylee have to sift through all of those pages. So that's a big undertaking. Don't forget, people, we protest. I am not the organizer of the CDC protest. There is a Facebook page called Chronic Pain Patients Protest to the CDC. I believe that's the name of it, Chronic Pain Patients. Hopefully Jonna Magers will call in. She's from Indiana. She's our Indiana state organizer. That protest is in Atlanta from 12 to 2, and it's at the CDC on Clifton Road. I am not the organizer of that protest, but I'm happy to endorse that protest in any way I can. So what are the first things so Jonelle, you're going to decide whether it's the governor's mansion
or I think the congressional building is across from it as well. So one of them, and they'll be both great options. But yeah, I think that would be a good spot for it. There's parking there, there's bathrooms, lots of traffic, a lot of foot traffic as well. And by the way, a few people on YouTube are saying, how about newspaper ads in upcoming events? And also they're saying flyers in food stores.
Okay, so you can get your flyer on don'tpunishpainrally.com. There's your template for your flyer, and I leave those flyers everywhere. If I go to the library, I leave the flyers. If I go to the grocery store, I leave the flyers. If I'm anywhere, those flyers are left behind. Wherever I go, I have information with me. So people, every time you go to your doctor, you don't get permission, just leave them behind. They don't know you're leaving them. Signs are easy. We have tons of sign options. Let's take caller with the area code 269. Hi, caller.
Hi.
Hi, Jesse.
Hi, it's Jesse Ray from Michigan. I can say one thing. I'm ready to go here in Coloma.
I know you are. And Jesse, you've been battling a lot. It's so cold in Michigan. You folks had to postpone your last protest, didn't you?
Yeah, and I wasn't able to handle taking it on because the last time we had to reschedule it was the day before I had to have my tooth pulled, and then it dropped again. I couldn't even make it up to my venue.
Well, so you think you're going to make it for the May 22nd protest?
Yes, no doubt about it. I mean,
And Jesse, do you have your press release to get out to your news organizations? And you know how to do that, right?
I've already got it off the website. I've sent it to my major 3 local news outlets. I'm going to send it to my newspapers this week.
Yay, Jesse. Yay, and Jesse is considered a solid. Jesse is a person that's been with us from just about the beginning. Jesse, you have been with us since the beginning. I remember this will be your 4th protest. Michigan, you've got your senior team member.
I missed the first one. I just helped Carlin and them from afar. That's what I did with the first one.
Yeah, Carlin, Beavers, real great. You've got great people. And Andrew, there's a lot of people that come to mind when I think of Michigan. I think, don't understand, I think what they struggle with is when you send out an email to Fox, your local Fox affiliates, or your ABC affiliates or your NBC, Google your television stations, and you're going to see, okay, where to send a press release. Make one email, insert about 25 different media outlets in your email, attach that press release, but always give an explanation. I'm a pain patient. The CDC guidelines have, created nothing but they've wrought havoc in the pain community. People with cancer are suffering. Doctors are being sent to prison. You need to cover this protest.
Now,
and what I do...
How early should you write into your press normally before the rally?
Well, in the past, I wouldn't send out the press release until the week prior. But in light of what happened with the CDC sending out, issuing that clarification, we need follow-up stories. And, the reporters need time to do those follow-up stories. So I would be sending those out. I've already started to send them out.
Yeah, me too.
Especially, to Fox News. And I've been attaching April's video. Mm-hmm. Actually, no, I'm a liar. I can't figure out how to attach that video. On Twitter, I did it. I wish somebody could teach me how to attach videos or even get a long Twitter video. I struggle with the smallest things in life,
Mm-hmm.
But now is a good time to send everything out and say, please do a lead up piece mm-hmm. to the protest. This is the time, people. Let's strike when it's hot. I think we have some great advocates in the community. And then we have some not so great advocates in the community. But Red Lawhern, don't forget, folks, while it's in my mind, I think people have to comment, Jonelle, on a task force hearing that's soon approaching, mm-hmm. right?
The HHS task force, I believe.
HHS. Mm-hmm. So you guys don't forget to go onto the Facebook page or go on to Twitter. You'll see that HHS, but I've been approving a lot of posts about that. Mm. But yeah, we need some lead-up pieces.
Yeah, absolutely. Albany Mountain Homestead from YouTube asks, I can't call in, but I'd like to know if future rallies would be held toward the beginning of the month.
So we try to organize protests every 3 months. Now, having said that, some people are in session year-round, and some people are only in session. We're only in session until June in Rhode Island. So it's not so much, when I look at the calendar, I have to take into account what's going on in each state. I can never make every state happy. That's the problem. Like May 22nd is the Indy 500. Mm-hmm. I think that's the name of it, that big race car, So I'm not always perfect, but I'm not protesting on May 22nd. I chose to protest on May 23rd. And the reason I did that is because the House of Representatives has the rotunda at the same time. And I need to be with my reps because of legislation. I'm commenting more and more on different legislation. Right now I'm working with a lobbyist, Chris Hunter, and he's trying to block the opioid tax from coming into Rhode Island. Mm-hmm. And, once you're an advocate in your state, lobbyists can seek you out pretty easily. I'm finding this, and I'll wash your back if you wash mine. So pretty much I posted their petition. I don't want to pay a tax on opioids in Rhode Island. I mean, and I don't even think the representative knew what she was doing when she sponsored this because she's pretty cool. So, but I had to attack her on social media anyway because that would have defeated the whole point. So I'm protesting on May 23rd at 1:30 in the Rotunda. And then, 170 reps will come in right at 2 o'clock and they'll see the signs and they'll see me and they'll run in the other direction. So you don't have to protest on May 22nd. You can protest anytime you want. But May 22nd is the scheduled national protest. And once again, June 21st is that big CDC protest.
What are some good signs, and do you have any suggestions on what you can write?
Actually, I do, Jonelle, because I brought that up today. Obviously, one of the first signs is don't punish pain. If people want to get some sign ideas, they can visit the Don't Punish Pain Rally national page on Facebook. What I did today is I started to post all past signs and past media. We're trying to pull up some sign ideas right here. I carry my signs are in the back of my truck, believe it or not, at all times. 2 years ago, when my kid wanted to make $20, I was like, Ava, if you get out of the car and hold these signs, I'll give you $20. Now at 14, she's like, yeah, no way, loser. I'm not getting out of I'm not holding any signs about opioids, Mom. But I'm trying to find some signs here. There's so many.
I use like a myth and a fact,
Yeah.
because there's so
Okay.
many of them out there. And I've
I'm
noticed
looking
also
more-
like keeping it simple, like
Yeah.
in big letters.
Yeah. Let doctors. I'm looking at a sign. Protect doctors. Let them treat pain. CDC. Stop treating pain patients as criminals. People. Pain management is a human right. AMA does not support CDC. New laws. Let cancer. I don't like that sign. Correct use is not abuse.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. And if you can see all of them, we received so much media. One lady has a sign, I represent the thousands who are in too much pain to get out of bed to be here today. Does that mean she actually went there with the sign, or she was still, I don't know, I'm confused by that one. Proper use of RX pain meds is not abuse. Have a heart, don't punish pain.
Mm-hmm.
Patient, not addict. That's actually one of my favorites. And when I testified, that's how I ended my testimony. I said, my name is Claudia Merandi, and I'm a patient, not an addict. And you could hear a pin drop in that room until the lady that was against the bill started to speak. And
Do you guys have any like hashtags from DPP Rally that you've been putting around on social media that people can use?
I'm not big with hashtags. I don't even tweet from the Don't Punish Pain Rally page. Once again, that page was hacked on Twitter, and Ernie Matthews was trying to get it up and running. And then a person that didn't support Don't Punish Pain Rally decided to create one as well. And I just tweet from my homepage, and I never include hashtags anymore. I find that my tweets get retweeted pretty easily at this point, so I don't. But I like hashtag no shame and pain.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the good old fashioned, chronic pain, opioid crisis. But I'm kind of a fan of no shame and pain. What do you like?
Yeah, I like that. Well, I think let's see. Big ones are like share our pain. What else? War against pain patients.
Yeah,
Somebody says on YouTube, pain power. Let's see.
Pain power, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's the new one? Afflicted, not addicted.
Yeah,
I like that.
I've heard that. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, pretty good one.
You want something short and easy.
Yeah. This past week, Tatum O'Neill retweeted Cindy Thresher, I think that's her name. Listen, if you're a state organizer, please call in and share some of your ideas, in the past, how you organized your protest. What would be great is to have April at a protest, right, Jonelle?
Oh, yeah.
That would be great. 415-47. So if you want to call in, the phone number is 415-403-2715. You know what I'm wearing tonight, Jonelle? Believe it or not, and I'm not a fan of T-shirts. I have my Don't Punish Pain T-shirt on, but I had to cut off the sleeves because, I'm a fitness competitor. I've got to show off the arms, of course. And then I started to rip the neck apart. And, people were concerned about wearing the T-shirts to the June protest if it's too hot, but in bathrooms. But you know what? We're not living out there. When you protest, people are like, you need to have, it needs to be accessible for handicapped people. And that's not been a problem. In Rhode Island, I just call, under my contacts, it says protest lady at the State House. She literally picks up the phone. I said, hi, it's Claudia and Merandi. I need to schedule Don't Punish Pain. And it's done. But in some states, they need your blood type, what your favorite flavor of ice cream is, and you've got to get a rep to to sign off on the permit. What? I said, no. Go outside on the sidewalk in front of your state house and mind your manners and don't attack anybody, and you can protest. Because the very first protest, oh my God, we froze our asses off. And I'll never forget, Reverend Myers, the late, great Ron Myers, called me and said, oh, you're in the protest game. I said, my dad was an activist. I don't know what I'm doing. He said, well, let me tell you. He's like, you're going to freeze. And I said, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Oh my God, it was so cold. It was April 5th, I believe, and freeze, but there were people there with Ehlers-Danlos in their wheelchairs with their signs. And I mean, the wind chill, I can only imagine what the people in Michigan went. I felt horribly about it. But I'll tell you that after that first protest, you feel so good because that's your day to be seen and to be heard. And, look, I'm all about protesting. But some states like Georgia, they're like, oh, who's your representative? I was like, why do you care? Look, I pull a permit out of courtesy. We're going on the sidewalk.
Why do you need permits? Like,
well, they changed because I just posted a piece on the national page. Before, 25 people, you never used to need a permit, but they've made it so you can't protest in the country. They've actually made it to be unappealing because of the disasters that have happened at protests. In North Carolina, there people rip down statues and things get ugly. So that's why I say, look, protest with dignity. If there's 25 people at your protest, if we had 25 people at every protest around the country, that would be great. But I pull a permit out of courtesy. I tell people just to be on the safe side. In my state, they couldn't be bothered with permits. And I protested the same day as the pro-lifers were there. Those were some angry protesters, I got to tell you.
I bet.
We protest a little bit differently. But the last protest in Rhode Island, we had a good amount of people there. And, it always goes well.
What about people meeting with their state representatives, like right around that time, before or after? I don't know. How does that help?
Yeah, well, so we go in session at 4:00. There'll be 10 of us that everybody will leave our protest, but 10 of us will stay, and we will meet with obviously Rep. Amori, the sponsor. He sponsors Claudia's bill. And that's a great idea. Everybody, Dr. Feldman did this. I think didn't you and Dr. Klein walk over to, was it you? Did you meet with any of your reps that day?
No.
That's the perfect time to, when you're in your state house, even if you're not in session, there's aides everywhere. And you just go knocking on people's doors. If you're in the Capitol, your Capitol, take advantage of it. That's how, that's how I got my bill sponsored.
Right.
After Rep. Amori, John Tassoni, who works in the addictions community, a very well-known advocate in Rhode Island, she couldn't get her pain medication, and she found me through social media, and she's like, look, I'm going to put you in touch with the right people. And she did, and I am eternally grateful for this lady. I can't say her name. She does amazing things in a different form of advocacy. And that day I was waiting, and John Tassoni came in. He's like, yeah, I'll talk with you. And he's like, I want to share a story with you. And it was about his dad who wasn't dying with dignity on hospice. And from there, it just took off. I went on his radio talk show, and he works in addictions and substance abuse, and he's actually trying to get more PSAs about the illicit fentanyl. And it was just like I was at the right place at the right time with the right people, and the rest is history. And that can happen for everybody across the country. It seems daunting for people to organize a protest or even to get on the phone with their representative. But these people have come so far. We've got a lady, Rhonda Favero, in California, and she and her husband, Larry, they are amazing. And, you know, they're good people. They actually support everybody in the community. They like to give everybody a chance. And we refer to those people as solids. They flew into Sacramento and it cost them a lot of money. You pay for your flight, your hotel, and they organize these great protests. Here's our problem. How do we get the word out about the protests? Because when we're poor, we're poor. We're not a for-profit. I'm a poor profit. We don't have donations. Being a nonprofit is not in my future for this organization. It was at one point, but I decided I didn't want to go that route. So how do we get the word out across the country that we're protesting on May 22nd? How do we get the word out to people with pain? That's where that commercial came in. And hopefully it will do some good for Oregon to run the commercial this week. And the more money that's raised with that GoFundMe, the more that commercial can be seen. And that's where people can find their protest venues. You visit don'tpunishpainrally.com and you're going to scroll down until you're going to hopefully find a venue. Some states still don't have venues, but it's not too late.
Now, when you guys had the commercial for the last protest, when did you start having those aired, and how did that help bring in people to the rally or people to know about it even?
So we ran the commercial 2 weeks prior to the protest on Fox Business. And I only go by what Fox Business tells me. So Fox Business said the commercial was viewed 500,000 times. You know, Fox Business is massive. When people saw that commercial, it's only 15 seconds. So in a blink of an eye, it's done. But when they see that, they'll go to the website, and the very first thing you'll see is the ticker. How much longer until the protest. So that worked out well for us. It looks like we have a caller with the area code 951. Hi there, caller.
Oh, hello?
Hi.
Yeah, Claudia.
Yes.
Hello? Oh, hi, guys. This is Rhonda and Larry.
Rhonda. I was just talking about you. Did you hear me talking about you? And that's why you called in, I hope.
I did. So yeah, what's going on?
What's going on with your protest?
Well, we're all set to go.
Okay.
I think a good way also to tell to get the word out is have the admins on the estate pages have them tell the people on their estate pages to make copies of the flyers and put them everywhere. Don't even ask. I mean, we'll go into Walmart and we'll just put a bunch down. Don't even ask.
Yeah, I do that.
So I mean, don't get in trouble. But I mean, just put them everywhere.
Right, wherever you go, leave a flyer, and that flyer, it gets people's attention. So, are you going back to Sacramento, Rhonda?
This time we're going to do in San Diego.
Okay.
Charlotte Elmore will do Sacramento,
Yep.
and possibly in the future we'll go back to Sacramento. But we wanted to hit here.
Yeah, you've made a big commitment.
And it was a great protest last time. We got media and of course we had the articles. So yeah, get that media.
Yeah, the media is, it's so important. And, in protest time, we're still a long way out, May 22nd. As many people,
Yes, we are.
once the commercial, God willing, that commercial gets to Oregon safely this week. And then, other states will follow. But the media, Rhonda, do you remember when we started, how many members there were?
Oh my!
Right? Can you?
Just a few, and we could not get anybody, not a newspaper, not a network. We could not get anybody to talk about this.
Unbelievable.
But now look at us.
Yeah, it really is. It's a national movement, and I'm not talking bowel movement, girl. I'm talking, somebody asked me. Somebody said, "Are you? You must be proud." And I said, I never think about being proud because we really, we're on the map. We put it on the map, and there's been many wonderful advocates who have been doing this long before we've come along. I mean, people have dedicated 30 years in this. So I'm a newbie. And so, of course, I respect the advocates who have been out there. But we needed to put the face of pain on the map and get national. And we've done that. But the goal, we still really have, what's the goal? To be on NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt saying, all states protested and, don't punish pain rally organization, people with pain. So that's obviously the goal. I know we're going to reach that goal, but with the work that you and your husband have dedicated to this organization, oh my God, you guys, you're solids, and you've never complained, Rhonda. You've never complained about anything. So. And you actually did.
It's not doing good.
And Rhonda,
It won't do any good to complain. Yeah.
And
go ahead.
You had a beautiful piece done on you. I think the last protest. There's a beautiful picture of you and your husband. What newspaper did that piece?
That was San Diego Union Tribune.
Oh, okay. I don't know if it was San Diego Times. Yeah, they did. How did you get them to cover your story?
Go ahead, Larry.
Actually, the reporter had some contact with Red Lawhern, and Red kind of passed her information on to us. So I contacted her and did a phone interview and told her about the protest coming up. And it was timed maybe a couple weeks out from the protest.
Yeah.
And she was kind of doing a more comprehensive story. And then she kind of focused on our stories, as Rhonda's story is part of it, and the protest as well. So
that was a great piece.
So the timing was just good.
Yeah, the timing was good. Yeah.
Sometimes, what, with media, timing is everything. And, we always have to hope for a slow news day because, you know how that goes. I always have media out there for my protests, but sometimes they only run my piece, late night 11. I never see it. I never see the protest. People say, "Oh, I saw your protest on TV." I was like, "Oh, I didn't see it, but that's good." I think those lead-up pieces are super important. Listen, guys, thank you so much for calling in. I am forever grateful to people like Rhonda and Larry and Sherry. If Kaylee Jade is listening, Kaylee, we'd love to hear from you because you are the media whisperer. Kaylee can get some pretty great media. She gets pieces done frequently. Jonna Magers just had media done. Oh, you know who really knocked it out of the park? Jonelle.
Who's that?
He's so sick. He's back in the hospital. Martin Schindler and I, we met in a Crohn's group. Those good old-fashioned Crohn's group where everybody's normal. There's no hating on those Crohn's group pages. It's so odd, right? Why some social media pages, why some groups have that inner hating, and then you go into a good old-fashioned Crohn's group where we all poop our pants, we get C. diff, and, we can't battle viruses. So I met Martin in a Crohn's group, he was one of the first people to buy my book in the Crohn's group. And oh no, I think he was able to get it at the library. I couldn't. Some libraries wouldn't carry it because there was a naughty word. Well, about 800 of them in my first book. And Martin is so sick. I was his advocate when he was in palliative care, and there he was. He already pulled his permit in Greeley, and some days I pray for Martin because I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what I can do for him, but Martin has come, he just makes it to those protests, and he is so ill with Crohn's disease. So Martin, if I know you're in the hospital, lots of love. There's just so many people. It's hard to remember. David Israel is our Michigan state organizer. David, very, very sad story. Born with hydrocephalus. He's like a mathematician. I spoke with him today, and he said, we don't talk anymore. And I said, David, I try to speak with people as often as I can. And I said, I wake up and just like you, there's 300 messages between emails and, the private messages, because you have to, I answer every message. Because some of the stories are so sad. And if they're really long, I can't read all the words. I tell people, don't send me War and Peace. I can't read it all, and I won't. And I'm like, okay, what's your question? Because I can't read it. But I always try to respond. And I think that's what people don't know is what goes in behind the scenes with what you and I do.
Yeah.
You and I, what do you, probably 5 hours a day sometime is spent on, just like the social media and the emails, and we don't get paid. Right. You don't make money, and I don't make money. So we're like Brokeback Mountain, but we still feel like I still feel a responsibility to finish my duties, if you will. And I know because you and I sometimes we don't talk until in the afternoon, and then that's when we get caught up. So I just turn everything off. And if you're listening and you're burnt out and you're like, oh, I can't fight. Listen, turn off the devices, step away from the computer and take a break. And even with the protest, your protest, it will come together. In the protesting world, nothing comes together until 48 hours prior. But, people are like, oh, I'm not going to protest because the last time 3 people showed up. Well, there's nothing you can do. You did your best. We do our best. I've actually been attacked for that, Jonelle. People are like, that protest lady, that sucks. Only 3 people showed up. Well, I'm not in Delaware, so I couldn't really help you other than giving you, blood, sweat, and tears. But look, you've got all the tools to organize your protest. Everything is on don'tpunishpainrally.com. And it comes together. And listen, we've come a long way, Jonelle, right?
Oh, yeah.
From when I remember the day I met you, Jonelle, on social media. You posted something. I said, oh, God, this is like, I felt like I was shooting myself in the foot. I was like, hi, Jonelle, do you think we could discuss the rallies? You're like, oh, yeah, absolutely. I was like, oh, my gosh. And Jonelle gave me my big chance. And we're cool. We're friends. We hang out on social. We haven't met. But we're going to meet soon. And, that's how it's all done. You reach out, you spread the word, and that's how you get a good protest going.
It is. And, networking is so important because many of these people you'll never meet in your life. Maybe, you'll set up to do it. But yeah, so, what you say and how you act on social media, that's all somebody knows of you. So it's important to kind of build those relationships, I
was at a fundraiser for Representative Amori. And he said, I want you to know I received hundreds of emails after the show. And he's like, I answered every single one of those emails. But let me tell you, he sees the crazy shit that happens on social media. And I tell people, if you think you only get one chance at a first, you don't get a second chance at a first impression. We've got a caller with area code 870. Hi there, caller.
Caller from area code 870. Right.
Hi, Jonelle. This is Kaylee.
Hi, Kaylee. How you doing?
Hey, Kaylee.
How are y'all?
Kaylee's from Arkansas, and we refer to Kaylee as the media whisperer. Kaylee, how do you get so much great media for everybody? What do you do?
Well, the first thing you do is that, once you have sent them some type of press release, whether you use the one we have up on the page or you use your own, call them and ask them for a lead-in story and tell them, look, our community not only is suffering, but the entire United States is going to suffer before it's all said and done. So they have to protect their citizens. You got to make them feel like they're doing something. So that's how I start, and then I just keep on, reiterating this is for the entire citizens of your viewing or your listening area.
Yeah. Where are you protesting?
We're at the state capitol in Little Rock. We cannot be inside this time, so we have to, be outside, which I hope it's not 100 degrees in May.
Mm-hmm. Kaylee, how many people were at the last protest in Arkansas?
28.
Okay. How many were you at the protest before that?
I was, and we had 7.
Okay. Wow, that's a big jump. Maybe this time you'll have 48. Because Arkansas does, Arkansas, folks, don't forget, everybody has their own state page because I felt that was the best way to organize. And Staley and Kaylee, along with Sherry, monitors those state pages. And, of course, someone's like, oh, why do you refer to them as damage control? Because when you have 10,000 people, there's going to be shit. And Kaylee, you really, you have a way of ironing out problems. So we thank you for that. I thank you. I speak with you frequently, so can't thank you enough for doing that. Kaylee, have you thought about doing a Facebook boost for your protest?
No, we haven't because I was so worried and I was told that you can, fix it to be just your area, but I was really worried about what type of people that we would get for the, doing the boost, and so that's why we've never done one.
Yeah, and I've had some questionable people show up at the protest, but I'm fortunate. I've got Michael Coppola with me who asks, very politely asks people to leave their protest. Kaylee, you rock. Listen, if people have problems getting media, Kaylee J. Jackson is out of Arkansas, and she can help you get media. If you're struggling to get media, please send me a message. Don't post it, because when I do live feed, I never see anything that's posted. But if you send me a message, make sure, or email me, cmerandi1@cox.net. If you email me 10 different television stations, and I can shoot back that email with the press release, and I can give them a response why we are protesting. What does that say, Jonelle? So we stream. I'm looking. Jonelle, what does this say? Also mention. I don't understand exactly what this means.
No. What I was going to say is also, if you want your rally to be on, if you'd like to stream your rally, let me know. We're going to be streaming on all of our channels. Every state I can set up about an hour block, so we can have 3 running. Well, we shouldn't have 3. Yeah, we got to have 3 running at the same time. I can, teach you a quick thing of how to use the camera, how to ask questions, and just how to also stream off of it. But we can stream off of DPP Rally Talk Show with Claudia, the Doctor's Corner, and Conspiracies Against Wellness. So if you want to do it, just let me know.
Well, look, everybody, we're 1 minute left into the program. Get out there on May 22nd. If you can't make it May 22nd, you protest on May 21st, May 23rd, May 24th. If you want to protest every week, have those signs in your car. If the weather is nice out, protest in front of a Walgreens. If you're on the sidewalk and if you're not, what's the worst thing that can happen? People can ask you to leave. I want to do a quick shout out to Dr. Arnold Spellman. Over the next few months, I'll be transitioning into the role of organizing doctors and focusing on doctors who have been unfairly targeted. And Dr. Feldman and I will be taking this undertaking on. And we hope to support Linda Cheek, Doctors of Courage, in her efforts. This is her baby, so I don't want to step on anyone's toes. Sometimes, Jonelle, believe it or not, I have that tendency to do such a thing. But I can't thank enough people for, putting your trust in the Don't Punish Pain Rally organization. It looks like we are out of time, Jonelle, correct? 7 o'clock.
That's
so
right.
Let's leave on this note. Be kind to one another. Think before you post something on social media. Put on a good impression when you're protesting. Get through that hour. Protest with dignity. Visit don'tpunishpainrally.com. And, remember, I get my strength from your strength. Have a great night, everybody.
Good night.
Thanks for joining us for the DPP Rally Talk Show. Subscribe to our channel at DPP Rally Talk Show with Claudia on YouTube. Copyright 2019. All rights reserved.